Greetings, beloved beings, fellow travelers on this planet, and guests from other realms. My name is Izobel Freeman, and I'm going to be doing a general reading for the collective for December 3rd through December 16th, 2017. Hope you all are weathering the beginning of Mercury retrograde by staying as heart-centered and grounded as you can. Venus in Sagittarius should give these next few weeks a background of warm, loving energy. So as we learned in last week's reading, let's all try to focus on what's working in our lives and foster a spirit of gratitude so we can attract the best outcomes into our experience. Before I get into the astrological forecast, I hope you all had a chance to check out my on-camera announcement about the new reading schedule and format. As I said last week, it looks like overall most of you have been watching my full moon and new moon readings more often, so I'm adjusting my reading schedule based on this feedback. Beginning today, December 3rd, I'm moving to a bi-weekly format, meaning that my readings will be released every other Sunday and will cover 2 weeks worth of astrology. So this reading is covering today through the 16th, and my next reading will be released on Sunday the 17th. I'm really excited about this new format, because I know these readings are not short, so I'm hoping this will give you all more time to watch and process them, as well as being able to stay more in tune with the lunar cycle and what we're all manifesting on a bi-weekly basis. This is also the first time I get to try out my new calendar graphics, which I'm hoping will make it easier to understand the astrological forecast. For those of you who are just joining us, before I get started with this week's reading, as I've said in previous readings, I'm doing my best to give you all a basic astrological forecast in addition to reading cards, because we often get messages regarding the overall energetic climate, and the cards themselves also have so many astrological correspondences. I want you all to have context for these, so here we go. Today is the full moon in Gemini, and wow, is it astrologically charged. First of all, it's the full moon following that challenging new moon in Scorpio we had back on the 18th of November. Remember the power and control issues that new moon was potentially bringing up both individually and collectively? Well, this full moon we may start to see evidence of whatever intentions we were setting and wherever the emotional set point of our human collective was during that time. Every full moon is an opposition between the sun and the moon, meaning they're on opposite sides of the wheel of the zodiac, giving us a chance to balance our outward and inwardly directed energies. What makes this full moon such a wild card is that both the sun and the moon are in uncomfortable square relationships with our spiritual, psychic, and illusory friend Neptune. If you don't stay securely heart-centered and grounded today, there's a possibility that you could get lost in Neptune's murky waters, leading to confusion and misunderstandings when it comes to pretty much anything. It is vitally important to meditate, to touch the planet, and to remember to breathe deeply. Give yourself and everyone else the benefit of the doubt today, and if at all possible, avoid making any high-stakes decisions, signing contracts, or getting involved in anything with long-term or unpredictable consequences. This is a full moon designed to be a tipping point in our collective story, because not only did Mercury just start to turn retrograde, but he's still within 1 degree of last week's Saturn conjunction. Mercury and Saturn together mean business when it comes to the power of your thoughts and your words, so it's crucial to only think and speak what you want to see manifest into your reality. Do your best to stay as positive as possible, no matter what happens in the news this moon cycle. Our focus creates our experience, so let's make this full moon count. We're going to be processing the full moon energy for weeks to come, so I'm glad tomorrow looks relatively astrologically quiet. On Tuesday the 5th, our cathartic friend Chiron ends his retrograde period and starts to turn direct. Those of you who have been following my readings for a while now know that Chiron is an icy minor planet that orbits the sun between Saturn and Uranus. Chiron in astrology usually represents our deepest pain, which we've come into this life to transform. Having been in retrograde since June 30th, Chiron's been making us examine our past and present ways of dealing with our highly personal and individualized pain. The things he's dug up during these months have been difficult to look at, but must be processed and healed in order for us to move forward, both as individuals and as a planetary family. So speaking of moving forward, Chiron turning direct is all about bringing meaning and some measure of closure to these issues. Not that we're going to have everything figured out and neatly put away, but that we'll have gained something of value from the experience of taking on these challenging subjects. Beginning Tuesday, we may start to feel stronger and more capable of addressing our hurts and trauma in healthy and empowering ways, opening the path to a better life experience in the future. On Wednesday the 6th, it's that second Mercury-Saturn conjunction I mentioned last week. The first one happened last Tuesday on the 28th of November, so don't be surprised if this week's conjunction reveals new information about issues in our lives or on the world stage that were in the spotlight last Tuesday. Mercury is the planet of the mind, of communication, and of technology, and when he comes together with Saturn, the planet of rules, limitations, and structure, it's a good day to plan, to organize, and to focus. Since Mercury is now in retrograde, this conjunction may have a more introspective feel to it. Our minds may turn inwards, especially since Saturn's nearing the end of his journey through the sign of Sagittarius, where he's been making us all take a hard look at our belief systems and big life choices. Saturn helps discipline your mind, so if there's anything you've been meaning to accomplish before the year is over, especially when it comes to upgrading your beliefs or habits of thought, Wednesday is a great day to focus on it. Also on Wednesday, Mercury forms a harmonious sextile relationship with Mars, making that mind power extra potent. Mars is the planet of personal will, of aggression, and of motivation. If you make sure to stay heart-centered, Mars can give your drive to succeed a big boost, making it even easier to upgrade your beliefs and light a fire under your life goals. Just make sure you are heart-centered though, or Mars's fervor might make your Mercurian wit a bit too sharp for others to handle. Tame that Martian aggression with a good dose of heart-based compassion, and you'll move forward without burning bridges. Luckily, due to that Mercury-Saturn conjunction, feisty Mars will also be in a harmonious sextile relationship with restrained and conservative Saturn, so you'll be getting extra help tempering Mars's explosive power. All these forces combined make Wednesday an amazing day to put effort into anything that you're hoping will stand the test of time. Whatever you initiate that day has the potential to be stable and enduring, so set your intentions on the best possible outcomes and anticipate lasting rewards if you follow Saturn's lead and put in some good old-fashioned hard work. This energy will carry us through to the end of this week, when on Saturday the 9th, our motivated friend Mars leaves the even-handed sign of Libra and enters deep and transformative Scorpio. Mars rules Scorpio, so while he's in this sign, we have the potential to be super driven and goal-oriented when it comes to achieving our desires. While this can be wonderful energy, it also has the potential to make us power-hungry, aggressive, and insensitive. So do I need to say it's important to stay heart-based during this transit? Mars in Scorpio needs to be channeled through the highest ideals and the most loving intentions, or he can have a tendency to want to dig up dirt, react prematurely, and create drama where there didn't need to be any. So again, friends, use this power wisely and with compassion, and the potential for sustained growth through profound transformation is great during this transit. Next week, we begin with a bang on Sunday the 10th with a trio of powerful alignments. One is overwhelmingly positive, and the other two are potentially challenging but cathartic. First, our quick-witted friend Mercury will be forming a harmonious trine relationship with Uranus, the planet of futuristic ideals, radical revolution, and self-expression. This transit can really open your mind to new possibilities. Flashes of inspired insight can occur both in conscious thought or while you're dreaming, so keep an idea notebook handy for those priceless aha moments. Exciting news, synchronous meetings, or other stimulating surprises could also happen on Sunday, and any new or established endeavor involving technology or communication is also favored. Also on Sunday the 10th, both Venus and Mercury will be forming uncomfortable square relationships, Venus with Neptune and Mercury with Chiron. Venus is the planet of love, wealth, and beauty, so when she and illusory Neptune don't play nice, this can bring up feelings of insecurity about our looks, our money, and whether or not we feel lovable. Having a poor self-image can really put stress on our relationships, whether they be with family, friends, business associates, or lovers. I can't stress enough the importance of practicing self-love and caring next Sunday, especially with Mars in Scorpio wanting to create drama. Please be good to yourselves and others, dear ones. Mercury square Chiron on that same day means if we feel too hurt or insecure, we might have difficulty expressing ourselves to the people who need to hear us most. It's important not to beat up on ourselves during these sensitive transits, whether we think we've said too much or whether we're kicking ourselves for not saying enough. Once these squares relax, it may feel easier to express ourselves. So again, practice some serious self-care next Sunday, avoid drama through Monday, and wait for the much more positive Sun-Mercury conjunction coming up on Tuesday the 12th. On that day, the bright, beautiful sun, which rules our self-expression and how we literally shine in the world, will line up with Mercury and help disperse that fog of low self-esteem. Those of us who are still riding high from that Mercury-Uranus trine will get an even bigger boost on Tuesday, when our minds will be active and our spirits curious and adventure-seeking. Those of us recovering from those 2 more challenging squares will hopefully be lifted by this light and airy transit, when we can all breathe a little easier, emerge from our cocoons, and wish all our Jewish friends or family members a very happy first night of Hanukkah. We'll get a break through midweek until Friday the 15th, when fleet-footed Mercury forms a conjunction with lovely Lady Venus, meaning it's a great day to show love, appreciation, or generosity. Your compassion, charisma, and communication skills will all be enhanced, so writing love letters, thank you notes, donating to charity, making purchases, or even drawing up those lucrative business contracts will be a breeze. But don't get too overconfident, because we've also got a more challenging transit that day, as the Sun squares Chiron. Did I mention there's been a lot of important Chiron transits lately? I did last week, and I'm doing it again here. Sun square Chiron can make us question our life's purpose and other issues regarding our identity. Our courage and self-confidence can take a temporary hit, so make sure whatever actions you're taking on Friday the 15th are not motivated by feelings of inadequacy or a lack of deservingness. Past hurts related to authority figures may arise, as Sun square Chiron asks us to look at ourselves in relationship to our elders, mentors, or superiors. If we can make it through this transit without succumbing to self-doubt and relinquishing our power to others, we will emerge stronger as a result. Our last transit of next week is thankfully going to be an uplifting one. On Saturday the 16th, the vibrant Sun forms a harmonious trine relationship with our revolutionary friend Uranus. This is truly exciting because this team-up can mean our intuition shines brighter and divine flashes of insight could strike at any moment. All that self-confidence we lost to those challenging squares or painful Chiron aspects has the potential to come rocketing back, and we may find it easier than ever to express ourselves without fear or shame. Saturday the 16th is our time to shine, friends. So don't be afraid to try new things, meet new people, or show a whole new side of yourself, because Uranus loves the new, and the Sun is all about you. Okay, there's our first 2-week astrology forecast. I hope you all found the new calendar graphics helpful. I'm excited to hear what the guides have to say about all this craziness, so let's get to the cards, shall we? As I do in every reading, I'm going to begin by lighting my little candle for my beautiful spirit kitty Pinky, who was in physical with me until 2015 and was and still is my greatest spiritual teacher. Okay, everybody, so much going on. It's my first 2-week reading. I'm actually really excited. There's so much astrology we're covering, and it's also very portentous. There's stuff that I didn't even have time to cover in the beginning astrology section. Otherwise, I would have put you all to sleep. But yes, hopefully I'll find a way to mix it in and fit it in with the rest of the reading. I'm just going to begin, those of you who are just joining us, as I do in every reading, I'm going to flip this lovely Angel Tarot deck over. All these decks are pre-shuffled before I read. So I like to get a card from the very bottom to see what our overall energy is for the reading. And it's not a weekly reading, it is, I'm going to call it, because it's full moon today, I'm going to call it the waning moon cycle, or the waning moon period reading, because it's 2 weeks. So here we go. What overall energy are we dealing with? Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Yeah, you got that right. Take time to carefully review your options, creative solutions. Yes, remember the King of Air that was just hanging out all the last reading as the overall energy and also as the first card on the board. Amazing. So this is his servant. This is another court card. Those of you who have been watching my readings for a while know that I talk about the court cards. In every system of tarot, the court cards can represent actual people in your life. So this being an air card, it could represent someone either coming into your life or who already is in your life, who's now taking a more active role, but who could be an air sign like an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. And there's a lot of air sign energy under these next 2 weeks, lots of Mercury aspects. And this is definitely what this feels like. Not only Mercury retrograde, but all the crazy Mercury aspects we've got going on, especially this coming Wednesday with the Mercury-Saturn alignment, all that just beautiful mind energy that we've got sort of following us around in all of these multiple aspects. Night of Air does feel very Mercury, very Gemini, but also because this coming Wednesday has that amazing Mercury conjunct Saturn that we're getting again for the second time. Saturn is one of the co-rulers of Aquarius. So you've got this sort of Mercury, Gemini, Aquarian energy. Also, tons of really sort of positive, at least 2 positive Uranus aspects that we're dealing with. So Uranus is, again, the other co-ruler of Aquarius. And then we've got lots of Venus, who rules Libra. So Night of Air, very Gemini Aquarius feeling. It has those very idealistic energies in him. So this could be a person who is an air sign or who exhibits these types of qualities coming into your life to teach you how to be more like this, how to be more idealistic, and how to move forward without fear. Remember, moving forward without fear and shame? Oh, that's going to be so great. I'm so glad we're ending on that beautiful upbeat Uranus Sun energy, because that's what this feels like. This feels like moving forward without shame, with purpose, with a bright, shiny look in your eyes, knowing that things are supposed to work out for you, regardless of any of these challenging squares or the weird Neptune haze hanging around some of these aspects, and also the Chiron aspects that we've been dealing with, not only in this reading, but in several readings before this. So I know it's the end of the year. We're dealing with a lot of painful stuff. As I said in last reading, there's a lot of family things, a lot of old stuff that's going to be reactivated, but the Night of Air is here to be our hero and to help us through it by reminding us to be ourselves and reminding us that things are moving forward. Remember we had that temporary delay with the Awakening card last reading? Well, that temporary delay seems to be dissipating. These events are occurring with great speed. You need to review your options. Take that Mercury, Saturn energy where Saturn's going to help discipline your mind, the mind that just wants to race ahead, and to be pragmatic about things and to come up with creative solutions. And that's that Uranian, hey, we're going to come up with something completely brand new, shiny and new that no one's ever seen. So yeah, beautiful energy to have. So glad. I should mention before I turn this down that this could also be not only a real person in your life, but also parts of you, an aspect of you that is now rising to the surface that may not have been in the forefront before, but is now becoming predominant because it's needed. So yeah, for those of you for whom that's relevant, take that message for you. Great. I'm going to begin shuffling for my quick cross spread. Lately, it's not been so quick because the guides have really loaded it with so much energy, and it's so tied to the astrological stuff that's going on. Something big is in the works, especially today with today's full moon. I want to talk so much about the full moon. I really, again, in the astrological section, did not really have time to address this full moon and how complex it is and how loaded with magical, pivotal, world-changing energy it is. But meanwhile, I will get to that. I will explain to those of you who are new the positions of this spread. First position is going to be for recent past into present for us in our collective human family. And just shuffling that very mushy way that allows cards to, oh, this one wants to float off the bottom, so I'm going to let it. Cards kind of pop out of their own accord and get my attention. Second position in the spread is present into near future. Here's one. Beautiful. I'm now going to be building a vertical comprised of mind or higher mind, heart, and body subconscious wisdom of the collective. higher mind. And as I am shuffling, I'm inviting in all my benevolent guides, all my friends in non-physical, all my dear ones who have passed away and are now hanging out in a timeless, blissful state, all our loving guides, angels, entities that we don't even recognize because we're in 3D reality and we wouldn't recognize them here. Everyone who's on the side of light and interested in our journey as a human family to come and help with this reading. Okay, so we've got the vertical, mind, higher mind, heart, and body subconscious wisdom. The next position is going to be what can help us on our journey, whether that be spiritual, mental, emotional, or physical aid. Yeah, so much. I've told you this before, but while I shuffle, sometimes I can feel the energy of the spread just coming up, bubbling up, and it almost sometimes makes me shake. This full moon is just epic and mythological. The full moon, actually, it's not only got the sun and the moon both square Neptune, within like a stupid small degree of accuracy. They call this phenomenon a T-square in astrology, and it's not a comfortable relationship. It's very dramatic and drastic. Oh, this one wants to be. I'm going to tell you what this last position is, those of you who are new. The last position is what many people like to call the outcome position. I like to call it the most probable direction that we're going to be headed in as a human family, based on the energy as established here. I never like to say that anyone can predict the future because we are all creating our individual futures from moment to moment through law of attraction. But there is a very general direction that most of the collective, by agreement energetically, is headed. And within that general direction, you, as a sovereign being, as a divine being, always have choice as to where you fall within, say, the larger convoy, so to speak. All right, this card wanted to pop out, so I'm going to lay that down for the most probable direction we're moving in. Yes, T-square for the full moon, very dramatic. Sometimes people get scared of this aspect. I tend to think it's a pivot point. But there's also some other stuff with this full moon that is going to be adding to its magic, and I'm hoping to get a chance to talk about that as we go into the reading. Let's go recent past into present. Two of water. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness. The positive resolution of a conflict. Yes, this is absolutely what we need. Remember how a few readings back, we had the peaceful resolution card for our angel answers card. This is energy we seriously need in our collective more than ever. This is that whole forgiveness theme that's been playing over and over again that the guides really want us to be aware of. 2, numerologically, can be a number of conflict, but this card, you can feel no conflict here. 2 can also be a number of partnership. So when two beings, two consciousnesses come together, and no matter how different they might be, when they come together in a spirit of collaboration, in a spirit of balance. 2 is also a balancing number. So this feels really super like the energy we need to be carrying into today's full moon. And because of this very Neptunian energy, these deep Neptune waters that we're swimming in for this full moon, this is a culmination of many of us made those really well-intentioned, loving wishes for new moon in Scorpio. And I thank you all who did that, who set beautiful intentions that were counter to the general atmosphere of fear that can be played out on the world stage lately. I really think that this card is the guides letting us know that we're making a difference by consciously choosing to envision and set our intentions for a better future. Because this Neptune energy, we don't have to be swamped by it. We don't have to be overwhelmed by it. This feels like Neptune, as a square to the full moon, sun and moon in opposition. It can also be a pivot point, this amazing balancing point between those two energies. Remember how I said the opposition is always this chance to balance our internal and external energies? The sun is all about outwardly based, what we're going to do in the world, how I manifest, how other people see me in the world. And the moon can be about your internal journey, this very subconscious, this, again, so Neptunian. Water cards are all about your emotions and your subconscious. So Neptune, of course, Lord of the Sea, completely relevant here. The moon is all about this energy. The moon is typically described as being more of a divine feminine energy, more of a yin energy, whereas the sun is a yang, outwardly directed, more acting, doing, masculine, more typically classed as masculine energy. But here we are, a relationship that continues to grow closer. For some of you, this is those romantic relationships that we've been talking about in the last couple readings. The last reading, definitely, they were talking about soulmates, and some of you were getting good news from the Knight of Water as the outcome card. So yes, but we've been talking about balance. We've been talking about relationships of all types. And this is going to be really pivotal for this full moon, especially since Mars is leaving that balancing sign of Libra with its balancing theme. It's already hit at one point that the Uranus opposition has been hitting the entire time. You'll have to go a few readings back to get that, but that's been a theme following us around for several readings. And this balancing of opposites, I really think this is an opportunity. Even though this this full moon does look challenging, it's an opportunity for us to turn it into a positive balancing experience. Beautiful. And for those of you working out your Chiron issues and having those tough conversations with loved ones and friends and business partners and lovers, this is a good card to be starting with and a good card to be combating all that sort of Neptune haze energy for you. And I'm very, very happy for us to have this as a starting point. All right, present into near future. Two of Earth. Okay, too much going on at once. The need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. This card is those practical. It also feels like that Saturn pressure that we're getting put on us. Another two, interesting, we're getting a very supportive, emotional, balancing, harmonious feeling too, positive resolution of conflict. This Two of Earth, again, we've been getting some overwhelming energies, especially in last reading, about the end of the year craziness that we're all embroiled in as we speak, because the holidays wait for no one. They keep marching forward, and the end of the year is coming, and we have to get all the stuff, all the things done. The need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. This is the guides just letting us know. You can see, again, this fairy flying away, looking like she's running. She always just looks like she's flying away from something in a complete panic. And yet, above her head, she has this pair of beautiful golden orb-like gem objects, which symbolize her internal power, her ability possibly to have a resilience come up out of her, and her not reaching for resources that she may have forgotten or may have discounted for herself. To, again, just like it can be a number of partnership and balance, it can also be a number of divisiveness and of separation and of being of two minds and of arguing and in a general discord energy. So you can see almost like two choices that you have here. They're just laying this out. These cards are always very closely related because, yes, we can say present in near past into present and then present into near future, but in the middle is still the present. So in the center here, you have this choice, the need to make a decision. And the guide's just letting you know, consider that more playful approach means that you don't assume that everything is beyond your control. You go into that heart center, just like I've been hammering on in the astrological section at the beginning for as long as I can remember in these readings, because it's so much more important now than ever to reach for the wisdom of the heart. The body is feeling overwhelmed. This is more also of that overwhelm that was in the root position from last time. Remember that 10 of fire where we were suffering because our body was overwhelmed with stress and toxins and us not paying attention to it, and it needed a voice. It was in that root position, very subconscious, and this being a 2 of earth and being another card in that theme of overwhelm, letting us know that some of us are still have too many obligations, say at work, too many very practical obligations that seem very real to us. And the answer is to have this heart-based place that we can go to. I know it's a reality that most of you don't have all the time in the world to meditate or to take that time out to go touch the planet or to get in a beautiful place where you can just have some privacy and breathe and shut the door and go inside to hear the quiet voice of your own divine source. But really, really, now more than ever, if you can just find 10 minutes, 15 minutes is ideal, but even 5 to 10 minutes to close the door, turn the phone off, go inside, take those deep breaths, and not let this carry you away. Even a few minutes of going within to your divine place, of listening to the quiet voice of your guides, of letting your heart just beat for you, listening to the sound of your own breath, can be priceless, because your brain's going to basically power down. Imagine how it would be if you left your computer running all the time. You never turned it off, you never cleaned it out, you never did any maintenance on it, or you ran an engine 24 hours a day, you never maintained it, you never did anything to take care of it or to ensure its upkeep. Nothing can run perpetually at a breakneck speed forever. We are cyclical beings. And this Neptunian watery place is definitely aware of that. The waves of the ocean, the ebb and flow, the tides of the moon, the fact that I'm getting on the schedule of the lunar cycle, of the ebb and flow of the full and new moon, and how that feels so much, doesn't that feel so much more organic? Doesn't it feel you wake up, you do stuff, and then you rest? And that's the natural state of being of our game that we're playing, the life cycle. There are periods of rest and periods of activity. And if we don't get those periods of rest, we burn out. Just like that engine or that computer would if you just left it to its own devices, just running at top speed and never getting a break. And I believe I did say something last week about the artificialness of the expectations that are placed upon us, the stresses that are put on us because we're expected to move at the pace of technology and not at the pace of an organic living being. And we need to acknowledge our cycles. And the Empress was here in this position last time to let us know that we need to plug back into the planet, that we need to acknowledge that our earthliness. Wow, this being an earth card too is another clue to that. This earthliness of us, this listening to the body and its needs and its rhythms, and allowing that to be, because this constant running is going to burn all of us out if we remain in this place of too much going on at once. The need to make a decision, that decision is the decision to go within and shut that endlessly running monkey mind off for just a little bit. Let the system reboot. Give yourself a break. And then you'll be open to those amazing Uranian aha moments, those ideas that you could not have had while you were running around like a chicken. Your brain is too full and it's running too high and hot, and it's time for a break, even if it's just a few minutes. 5 minutes. I dare you, do it today. 5 minutes, just meditate. And if you don't know how to meditate, there are so many videos on YouTube. You can do it. I have faith in you. Okay, speaking of the mind being overtired and the body being worn out, let's see what the mind card has to say. Knight of Water back again, back from the end position up in the mind. So some of you have heard his call. Some of you have heard the message from far away. More Neptunian energy. Look at this. Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, contemplative, falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, an invitation to a social event. What did I say about this full moon feeling like a balancing point? It really, really does. The Knight of Water, another court card, another knight. All of these heroic energies coming in to really help us with this overwhelm that we've got going on. As I said last time, the Knight of Water comes and he's totally plugged in to the ebb and flow of those lunar cycles, of our body cycles, of our rhythms, and teaching us a more organic way of being, a more healthy, a more loving, a more heart-based way of being. And below the waves, this beautiful treasure here, this goblet. You could call it the Holy Grail, waiting below the surface. And this is a treasure he has yet to find because he's up here on the surface. This could be symbolic of our own journey. We're starting to learn to coast the waves and maybe work in partnership with our natural being, with our organic body being, and also our planet Earth. Maybe we start to learn to operate in a more natural way. And then as we go within to do this meditation and to be in a more heart-based place, we go within and we realize that those Neptunian waters aren't so scary after all. This Neptune square for this full moon and these other awkward Neptune aspects that we're getting in the near future could be just that threshold guardian. In Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, there's always some sort of threshold guardian, a scary thing that comes up right before you're going to learn a really amazing lesson, right before you're going to make a breakthrough of some sort. This threshold guardian comes up, scares you, and the more cowardly beings, the more fear-based souls turn back and run away. But the courageous ones, like this Knight of Water, charge ahead. And once they pierce that surface, the creature usually evaporates or is defeated in some way, and then you find this treasure below the surface. And water has this symbolism of the subconscious, of going into that deep Neptunian spiritual place. So who knows? These scary aspects that look sort of freaky could just be smoke and mirrors to test our courage, just like these Chiron aspects that we're getting. Are you going to learn the lesson? Chiron going direct. Are you going to learn the lesson of all the hard stuff you've been through recently? Put it all together and come away with something of value, right? There's a treasure within every challenge. Just like this fairy has a treasure that she seems unaware of. There's a treasure waiting within everything that seems hard. And now this seems to be squarely in the mind of many of us. Otherwise, it would not be up here in the mind or higher mind position. And I'm very happy for us because this was way over here and it was on the horizon and now it is here, which is beautiful. Let's see, speaking of Neptunian, heart-based, not falling prey to the illusion or the scariness of the perceived scariness of the situation. Let's see what the heart has to say. The Chariot, Archangel Metatron, an important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Yes, absolutely. This is our first major arcana card on the board. Archangel Metatron is that incredibly powerful archangel of how to manifest your divine, your sovereign will into 3D space-time. He is the master of bending space and time to get the result that you want. And look at him with his polar opposites, balancing these opposites with the full moon. Just for us today. And with a lucky 7 on top of this. 7, this incredibly lucky, genius number of divine luck, of stupid, completely not 3D logic based divine luck. This is an incredibly amazing card. Just the metaphor that we need to keep in our hearts today for this really charged full moon. And they're giving me an opportunity now, which is great, because Metatron's also this wonderful guide to esoteric knowledge, to talk about the full moon in Gemini. Not only Gemini being the twins, this amazing power balance between these polar opposites, this black horse and this white horse, but not only do we have this amazing Neptune T-square going on that we were talking about here, and it looks potentially scary on the surface. It looks like you could just possibly drown in those weird murky waters and get confused. But also it's incredibly powerful if you learn to balance the opposing forces within you. Really, you can get power. And yeah, it's so amazing, because there's so much. I can't even talk. There's so much energy coming off of this card and off of this full moon. I apologize for being so tongue-tied, but sometimes the energy takes over and I can't do words. So this full moon has not only that amazing Neptune T-square, but it's being magnified by a really awesome Jupiter aspect. Jupiter is trine. Remember that Jupiter-Neptune trine that was right at the end of this last week? That aspect is still hanging around, lending its beautiful power to having this amazing positive Neptune spin and this treasure. Jupiter is the planet of hey, I'm the amazing cool dad who just gives you all the stuff that you want. Like, he's like Santa Claus. In his beneficent aspects. There are negative aspects to Jupiter too, but in his beneficent, benevolent guise, he's the person who brings you all the stuff you want. And that there's that positive aspect to the full moon, but there's also this really cool relationship between some fixed stars. And this is going to get a little deep and esoteric, so bear with me. The sun is in Sagittarius and the moon is in Gemini, because it's an opposition. And the sun is conjunct the star Antares, and the moon is conjunct the star Aldebaran. And what does this mean? Why is she talking about this? There are many, many fixed stars in astrology, but there are 4 big daddy ones. And these are the 4 that are associated with the 4 giant archangels. Antares is associated with Uriel, and Aldebaran is typically associated with Michael, the big emperor of all the angels. And then you have 2 more making up the 4 with Raphael and Gabriel. And these are traditionally called the 4 Watchers. You may see them in different guises in different mythologies as, say, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, or the 4 Watcher Angels, or the 4 corners in Wicca and pagan circles, where there's an east-west and a north-south axis, and there are watchers that guard those axes and have different powers and different jurisdictions. Well, again, the sun being conjunct Antares and the moon being conjunct Aldebaran is hugely powerful, because we have this, again, this pivotal balancing choice between Michael's realm of Michael, the emperor of all angels, the example of benevolent stewardship of power. Yes, he's a general. Yes, he's a warrior, but he tends to be pictured more often as this benevolent help figure, this almost fatherly figure that is helping humanity evolve. And then you have the side of Uriel, and the star Antares literally means rival of Mars, rival of Aries. And so this star is typically seen as like a warlike, violent force, but it also has like this hidden power to it, this power of redemption. Uriel is in certain stories, certain apocryphal and esoteric stories, the angel of repentance and redemption. This secret power of, this thing that I thought was dark and evil suddenly becomes this force of good. And can we integrate these two forces? The force of seeming light, you would assume Michael is on the side of light, and then Uriel with Antares, the rival of Mars, the violent star, could be thought of as dark or evil. But here you see Metatron with both horses in tandem, pulling together, cooperating. And this is an important achievement. This is self-discipline. This is learning to control your fear and your fear of the darkest aspects of yourself. And you have this pivot and this choice to be able to do that. Either you can fall on the side of fear, you can insist you're on the side of light and deny that you have a shadow side, in which case you'll never clear out your Chiron pain or all of the Pluto aspects that you have, or you'll never go into those deep Neptunian waters and possibly find that hidden treasure. The Uriel Antares lineup is letting us know that in those dark places that we fear, no matter how bad things look on the world stage right now, no matter what comes out in the news today, I don't care what it is, there is some hidden, beautiful thing that is meant to come out of this. And Metatron is here right in the heart center to let us know that we have the key on this full moon to balance these forces, to not be afraid of them, to not be swayed or need to be imbalanced on one side or the other, but to have both working together. And when you do that, you not only are able to gain the power of Metatron and his chariot to move forward with rapid speed, just like the Knight of Air was talking about, events moving forward at great speed. You have the self-discipline and the willpower, which is that Saturn aspect coming in, where Mercury and Uranus want to run ahead and race ahead and have that airy, that Knight of Air quality of being idealistic and enthusiastic, but Saturn teaching us to do these things in a practical, sustainable, earthly way that we can then appreciate, because it will manifest here in the 3D space where we can all see it, and then the public will see that we have mastered these things and give us recognition. This is a beautiful, amazing illustration of everything I really wanted to talk about for the full moon in Gemini. And the fact that, again, these two horses with the balancing twin forces of Gemini, so amazing to have that in the heart. Metatron, incredibly powerful guide to show up right in the heart position to help us with this pivotal point and letting us know we have the power of divine, stupid, higher dimensional luck, of which he is a specialist. He works with this type of energy all the time. So yes, let's see what we can do about this root level. This feels, again, very much about like that body overwhelm. Let's see what they're saying about this position this time. The King of Fire. We have redeemed that overwhelmed 10 of Fire. Yay, us. King of Fire. Motivational, idealistic, ambitious, charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. Well, this totally feels like, again, this magical Wednesday that's coming up where everything's just going to come together, where you're going to have Mercury, the enthusiasm and bubbly mind energy and the ideals of Mercury mind with the discipline of Saturn helping you focus, with the fiery nature of Mars. Remember how it's going to be Mercury conjunct Saturn sextile Mars. And this just feels like a little bit of that energy coming through to let us know that we have this. Remember I said that day is going to be a great day to build anything sustainable and lasting? Well, this energy being in the root position is just all about that. All about what is it that you want? What is it that you really want? Not what you're going through right now, not what's right in front of your face that makes you feel trapped and overwhelmed, but what is it that you really want? And can you corral your hyperactive, running all the time monkey mind, can you slow it down and give it a moment's peace so that it can be alchemically reborn into this inspired, passionate, focused, ambitious, stable energy that can now move forward and manifest everything that you really, really want in your life, and to do it in a way that will last. This is totally the perfect King of Fire energy. Another court card. This could, of course, be a fire sign coming into your life that can teach you to be motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. So, hey, this could also be that Sun being in Sagittarius conjunct Antares. Remember, rival of Aries, rival of Mars. So you have that fire on fire. The Sun, the fire of the Sun, the fire of Antares, the fire of Sagittarius. Beautiful. So yeah, look for fire signs coming into your life. Look for people who just feel like this, those dynamos. You know who I'm talking about. They're the ones who just never seem to need to sleep because they're so excited about what they do, and yet they've got discipline. There are plenty of people who are super excited and they just kind of waste all their energy because they're not focused. But this energy coming into your life at the very root level where we need it, we needed some help, and we got the clue when I clarified last time about the Six of Fire, which is that victory homecoming card where everything is going to work out for you and you're going to get that public recognition, that hero's welcome that we got. King of Fire now showing up in a big way. So many aspects astrologically supporting this energy. Definitely very good for us because it shows that this may just be a temporary hiccup, and again, these two may be choices that you're facing right now. And I would choose this one. Just saying. So speaking of how things are going to move forward and what to choose, let's see if they're offering anything in the help position that it can help us with this issue. Of course. More heroic, fiery energy. The Nine of Fire, don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. Now more than ever, you need to be yourself. They've been really hammering on that for a couple of readings. And this Nine of Fire showed up as an overall energy a couple of readings back. And we needed her, and we need her now in the help position. This is also that reminder that we have a heroic divine feminine rising energy going on right now in the world, on the world stage. This is needed. Those of you divine feminines who feel like this, you know who you are, whether or not you identify gender-wise as female or you don't present that way at all, or you don't identify that way at all. If you have this in you, it is time for this now. It is time for this because the world needs a hero. The world needs a hero who is plugged into the lunar cycles, who knows how to be human, how to be connected to the planet, our divine feminine mother, how to be passionate and focused, just like the King of Fire. How to balance these aspects of the known and the light and the dark and the unknown, and to gain positive results from both. This figure is not afraid to go to the dark places to retrieve the treasure. So we shouldn't be either, because this is who we are right now. They're letting us know, the guides are letting us know this is a reflection of who we are, who we really are inside, and who we need to be externally right now. We really, really need to manifest this in a big way. And some of us already are. So you know who you are. And I'm excited to have this in the help position. Let's see what's going on as the most probable direction we're moving in as a collective. Five of Fire. All right. As I said, this energy of this full moon is kind of dramatic. And there's a lot of aspects that are coming up that are rather dramatic. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. One thing about Antares versus Aldebaran. is this alignment has the potential to cause conflict, world conflict. We're talking about rumblings of war or warlike events, or people just throwing down and, remember, creating drama where there doesn't need to be drama? Yeah, this is that card of that. It's fire, so again, it's more alchemical passion, it's energy, it's everybody's inflamed emotions, raw passion without focus and direction, right? So you have this 5. And I like to call 5 the halfway there number. It's also the very human number. It's not a 1, it's not the beginning, and it's not a 10. So it's not the end of a cycle. It's not even a 9. I should have gone through the numerology of this. 9 is the end of a cycle just before you hit a 10, which numerologically reduces to a 1 and basically reinvents itself to be a 1. So 9, the step just before the very end where you alchemically reinvent yourself. And that's beautiful. But 5, you can see, is stuck between a 1 and a 9. It's right in the center. And again, it has this pivot point energy, doesn't it? Just like the balancing energy they're hinting at here with these 2s, with this choice between these 2s right here. And also with the clear illustration of having gotten both sides of the pivot to balance and making that work for us. But the 5 of fire has this very, okay, we're at odds with each other energy. And because we're neither here nor there, we're sitting on the fence, and it feels like this need to make a decision. Like we haven't decided yet to move forward in harmony. We're still squabbling with each other, and that definitely feels like a lot of world stage events. So a lot of things in the news, we're like, why are we at odds with each other? We're all on this planet together. Why can't we get it together and all pull in the same direction and make something magical happen, right? So, and this could be manifesting in your own life. I also say that 5 is a very human number because we have 5 digits on our appendages. We also have 5 major appendages. We have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. And so 5 is just this very kind of human-shaped number when you put it in a group like this. Even this just feels kind of human. Some of you are facing this in your own lives, and this is a very, again, end of the year energy where you go home, you go to the place where you had your Chiron pain, and you see all those people. You see all those people from your very formative years who said those things, or who hurt you in some way, or who activated something in you that made you feel unworthy, or did any number of things to make you feel like you weren't enough, or like you needed to do things for them, or they offered you conditional love that was conditional on you behaving in a certain way to make them happy all the time and not really going your own way. So lots of people are facing this kind of crazy making energy here at this time. And you can see this illustration here. I love this illustration because you have this wand that is at the center. It could go one way or another, or it could go forward, right? It could go pretty much any direction it wanted. And it seems like these other wands are blocking its path in some way. But what's really fun for me to always notice is that this wand is actually free and clear. You can see that there's nothing blocking it from moving forward. If it just moved forward away from these crazy-making energies, which could symbolize crazy-making people in your life, or crazy-making impasses we've all reached on the world stage where we're arguing about stuff that just we don't need to have conflict about. If you, I'm just saying hypothetically, you moved forward, these crazy-making energies would just fall down behind you. And this is what happens when you put your focus, when you decide, when you make the need to make a decision, when you decide to focus on the harmony that you want to see. You decide that the only relationship that really matters is the relationship with you. This is another meaning that you could read into this card. The relationship that continues to grow closer could be your relationship with you. And this also feels very Gemini to me. This feels like full moon in Gemini, square Neptune, deep in Neptune's transformational waters, with, creatures that we normally wouldn't talk to, and energies we might not interact with all the time, but it's this beautiful subconscious place that we're allowed to go to and reconcile opposites. So you decide that the relationship that matters is with you. You practice forgiveness. You allow everyone else to be a divine being and to be wherever they are. And then you have some sort of positive resolution of a conflict. This could be with an actual relationship. This could be with these crazy makers that you actually have. You go through the forgiveness process. You go through the conflict with others and you make this choice. And things could end up stronger. If you continue to move forward, they could all watch you walk away and go, wait a minute. You're not engaging anymore. You're not fighting with us anymore. You're not playing the same game that we're used to playing. What's different about you? Why have you heroed up so much? And maybe they'll have to step back and take a think a little and say, hey, you seem different. Maybe we could be different too. So yeah, that's one possible meaning of this. It's an inside joke because it's actually very empowering. We all have the power to just end the conflict by just walking away and stopping participating in it. The more you feed that fire, the more fuel you give to the crazy. And if you just have the courage to just walk away, stop feeding it, then you're free and clear, unencumbered, just like this wand. And you can see this one wand, this lovely heroic figure has in this 9 of fire. Guides letting us know through repeated symbolism that we have what it takes. And if we have the courage to go on our own and reconcile relationships within us, then familiars show up. Other like-minded people may show up. Perhaps these court cards, like the Knight of Water, King of Fire, Knight of Air, may show up. New people who aren't crazy making. I'm going to clarify that just because I want them to tell us a little bit more about that, if they will. If you guides will be so kind as to clarify this, because this feels a little open-ended. But seriously, this card always looks kind of not so good, but to me, I always laugh because that one wand in the center has all the power. And so do we. We have all the power. Ah, okay. Yeah. This is more of that. 5 of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. This is that very earthly fear, and I get it. I really, really do, especially with the energy of this full moon being up for grabs, and who knows what's going on in world events right now. There is a lot of people, especially coming into the end of year. Money can be tight. Another 5. Look at this. We've got some fears going on. 5-based fears of not being neither here nor there, being not at the beginning, but also not being where we want to be. This also feels like many of us looking at our year-end goals and realizing, I didn't really turn out, things didn't really turn out the way that I wanted to. Yeah. This feels like people being crazy and real life practicality being crazy. And the guides want you to know that you don't need to be stuck in this. You really don't. I know this is scary and trepidatious and lots of things are. There is a real temptation to fall off into fear. And this is our choice right here in the present and near future. There's a real temptation to just fall in there. But the guides really are letting us know we have a choice. We've got Metatron right in the heart. We've got help from so many different directions. And things are going to look scary. They're going to... Threshold guardians. Again, these things. People who don't believe. People who give you crap for who you really want to be. Situations that seem very practical and real and survival-based, staring you in the face. And these just feel like, again, these possible manifestations of scary things and things feeling overwhelmed. And her being in the help position, you being in the help position makes me want to take one more card. Okay, friends, we have a hat trick. Especially this vertical. We are so heroic. Like, look at this vertical. This stands for us in higher mind, heart, and body subconscious. Everything really powered up, ready to go, ready to balance, ready to move forward, and also the Knight of Air. So, yes, more air. King of Air, Knight of Air, Page of Air. Logical, honest, impulsive, curious. We're going to get challenging information. There may be delays or changes to plans, but truth may be delivered without tact, but it's going to teach us to hero up. This, I'm going to fix the mess I made. Whee. This is our hero up moment. And this again is that Mercury conjunct Saturn energy. The Page of Air is a messenger, just like Mercury. And she is a little bit of a tough love figure. Those of you who have seen her in my readings before know that she comes bearing tough love, and she is here with the sword to help you cut away things, possibly making that decision that you have been putting off making, getting rid of these crazy makers, and making you finally accept help when you need to. She's not going to let you not listen to her. If this is a person coming into your life, it's a very air sign person. Lots of air signs showing up recently. It's a very air sign person. The page is kind of blunt. It's kind of blunt, but it's all out of love, and she's going to help you face these fears that are being brought up by these very real seeming dark Neptunian scary waters and these Chiron things and hard aspects that we're going through, and this end of the year overwhelm energy. Some of you are really facing uncertain financial stuff. These 2 5s, I get it. I really, really do. It's really tough to not know what's going to happen tomorrow, but then on the upside, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That if you choose to go inside just today for a few minutes and get yourself grounded and heart-centered and take a break from the overwhelm, who knows who may show up tomorrow with challenging information, and they might make you change your plans because you've been putting your head in the sand and choosing a fear-based way of being for too long. But this truth delivered without tact is going to be good for us. Just remember how I've been saying there's challenging stuff, and these aspects are cathartic, but rewarding. We're going to be able to get this hidden treasure out of this potentially dark and scary experience. And this is really helpful because, again, this feels like Mercury conjunct Saturn, and also those Uranus aspects, especially the last one that we're going to be getting at the end of this 2-week cycle. Sun and Uranus with genius ideas, but if you're not trying to hear that, you might feel like it's tough love. So there will be trials, and it looks like there's going to be some fallout because there's fear-based ways of interpreting this full moon, and there are love-based ways of interpreting this full moon, and you get to choose. This is an epic choice here. You choose the fear-based way of being, you choose the love-based way of being, and there's a hero journey that needs to happen. You're obviously heroic. You've got it going on, and this hero energy is rising up to meet these challenges and getting help by lots of air energy, brilliant mind and higher mind energy. So look for this person or look for this aspect of yourself to be rising up to meet these challenges. It doesn't mean you're going to like it when they show up. Because again, challenging information. It doesn't mean it's going to feel all warm and fuzzy. But Guides want us to know that we're up to the challenge. We are a hero. We can hero up to this because look how solid we are. Mind, heart, body. This is so solid and this choice is so clear. And yes, there will be trials and there will be tough love. And I can't wait to see what the next chapter is because the next time I read will be for new moon, and that's going to be like a whole new beginning, a new moon cycle. But in the meantime, we have this powerful major arcana, great support from the master of bending time and space, but letting us know this choice is quite binary. And you can choose to fall off into these areas, or you can choose to take the high road that's maybe tough and disciplined, like the King of Fire is saying. You've got to focus. Saturn's going to make us focus. Yeah. Wow. Very blunt, tough love reading. It's time to put on our big boy and big girl pants because this end of the year is going to be dramatic, obviously. And for those of you going through these really real trials with emotions, and this also could be that identity crisis that's happening, where we're going to be dealing with those Chiron aspects and the Neptune Venus. Yeah, the hard Venus aspects where we're going to feel unlovable, and the identity aspect. Yeah. But real challenges, we have aid. It's tough. Ah! It's going to be a roller coaster. Let's see if we can get some help from our shortcut card. Now, I'm just going to figure out what I'm using, because this is a very dramatic spread. And it's not necessarily giving us a bunch of closure right now. So the best we can hope for right now is to elicit this hero spirit within us. But we've got so much support. Look at that vertical. Beautiful. I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot for my shortcut because the Psychic Tarot is this great feeling, supportive. It has a very Saturn fatherly feel to me. It also has that four corners that I was talking about with the four watchers of heaven, the four stars and the four angels. Because it's a four feeling deck, it has this very solid foundational feeling to it. And I really, really want that right now because it feels like the more friendly aspects of Saturn. It feels like that Jupiter trine that is still supporting this full moon, that is letting us know that we do have protection. We do have a benevolent, fatherly energy overlooking everything. It's kind of like the King of Air was hanging out, and now the King of Fire. We've got divine feminine and divine masculine aid, but foundational, supportive energy is what I'm looking for. So those of you who haven't seen my shortcut process before, I'm just going to do a couple of cuts, but first I'm going to see what's on the bottom. Patience. Absolutely. We need patience. And this is that tough love. Again, that Mercury conjunct Saturn. We got Mercury conjunct Saturn last week. We got Mercury conjunct Saturn this week. And we're going to have a third Mercury-Saturn conjunction in January because, Mercury is going retrograde right now and it's appearing to go backwards in the sky. And so when it turns around to go forward, when it goes direct again, it's going to hit Saturn one more time. And by the time it hits Saturn, we're going to have to learn some really earth-based practical lessons because Saturn by that time will have gone out of Sagittarius, will have learned all the lessons that he's got to teach us in Sagittarius, and he will have entered his home rulership sign of Capricorn. He really loves being in Capricorn, and he's going to teach us how to do things in a sustainable way, how to solve our earthly, monetary, very real problems. When Saturn tips over into Capricorn later on this month, you're going to feel an energy shift. Things are not going to be in this crazy 5 of fire place with Sagittarius, they're going to be in this earth place, and we're going to feel the shift to feeling really nuts and bolts, really, what can I really sustain? What can I manifest for real into my 3D experience? What's going to be sustainable? Remember about this magical Wednesday we've got coming up, about building something that will stand the test of time. Look, 1, 4, numerologically, you reduce the 14 to another 5. So this 5 of power in this shortcut coming in to help us with these scarier 5s. I still think the inside joke of this 5 of fire is hilarious. But this 5 of earth can feel very, very real. When you're facing really earth-based, and look, this has this earth-based feeling of the seed that you plant and you wait for it to happen. And this also feels like the seed, when you plant it, especially this coming Wednesday, if you've got plans, if you've got long-term plans to solve this problem of uncertain self-employment, to solve these really very real physical life or money problems, and if you have the wisdom to accept help from others, maybe inspired mentors, people who can teach you to move forward in business and practical ways, but also guides, non-physical friends, all these guides that are coming in. Metatron is a hugely powerful guide, and we've got a lot of major arcana that have been coming in recently, the Empress and the Awakening card from last time. But also these court cards that are coming into your life. The wisdom to accept this possible tough love, even though you might not like what you hear, to buckle down, do the work. Yes, we're manifestational creatures. Yes, we're creating through our emotions and through our energies. But also, we did come here to play this physical, very 3D game. And so we do need to do the physical things that it takes. Look at this. I hope you can see this lunar cycle on her headdress here. This is really amazing to me now that I'm getting on this bi-weekly lunar-based schedule where I'm going to be following new moon, then full moon, new moon, then full moon. It's really going to illustrate to us what happened in the last reading, what seeds were planted for new moon, what manifests during full moon. Those of you who were with me for new moon in Scorpio, you saw that with that Mars-Pluto square, it was a challenging new moon. And we were encouraged by the guides to focus on what we want, to look at what's working, to look at what we love, to remember why we're doing this, and to be in this together as a collective here on planet Earth, and to not make divisions between us when we don't need to. And you can see this patience. You plant those seeds, and then you don't sit there and yell at the seed until it does what you want it to. You imagine the good. You look forward to it growing into something beautiful. You anticipate good things happening, and then this beautiful treasure appears. This is a really calming, peaceful answer to these 5s over here. A powerful 5, patience. And this is called the Psychic Tarot deck. It's not a full tarot deck. It is an oracle deck. It doesn't have every single card that's in a full tarot set, but this card does correspond to the Temperance card in tarot. This is that achieving a balance, and yet another nod to this theme of achieving balance and partnership. And through achieving balance and partnership, and through the reconciliation of opposites, these seeming forces that cannot play nice together, finding some sort of treasure in the darkness and bringing that forward and realizing that it has a place and that we can listen to it, we can also use it to move forward as a collective. You can see this theme of possible duality here, but in this duality, night and day, in the cycles of the moon, night to day, enough of that balancing produces something beautiful and new, the fruit of a labor, the fruit of 2 disparate parties coming together to make something wonderful and new. And 5 being this wonderful human number of us learning to do this and being patient with ourselves and each other. Gorgeous. Temperance, balance, patience. Maybe not falling into fear. Okay, gonna cut. Yes. Here's the pivot point. Mental conflict. Look, they're just hammering on this. Here's our choice. Here's our choice, these 2s. The choice between one or the other. Can we reconcile them? Can we balance them? And in the mind, the dualistic 3D mind gets confused and says, how? How can we balance? How can we combine opposites? How can we all be one thing when all we see are potential conflicts in our world, in our lives, with people, in our lives, with maybe our work. We're not gratified by that right now, or we're not seeing how to make things real, or how to listen to both our body and our external obligations, or our internal needs, our emotions, our heart, and keeping up the pace that's expected of us. Mental conflict. This is where we are. And letting us know there is a way, but not on the cycles of constantly being agonizing about things, just like the monkey mind wants you to do. Not panicking. Yeah. This is what's going on. Another 4. Look, just like the 4 I was pointing to here. This card points to that 4 of, I believe it's 4 of water, 4 of cups. It's one of those cards where you can see this rainbow coming through this railing and this magical castle. You have what you need. The earth is beckoning to you. The magic of the outside is calling to you, and you choose to look the other way. That's that thing, is there's a lot of forces at work right now. 4 is a foundational number. It's the secret inside joke of this card to let us know we really do have support. Look at this vertical. Things look like they're up for grabs, and they are going to look like they're up for grabs, especially during this month. This month is a highly charged one. There's so much going on astrologically. There's so much going on in the news. And there will continue to be. We might get news that we don't want. We might see things happen that we don't want. We might see conflicts arise that we clearly don't want. And yet, 4, foundational number, like I've said in the past, when you have 4 legs on a chair, 4 legs on a table, 4 posts at the corners of a foundation, you feel this very stable energy. Remember how I said this deck felt stable? You feel able to rest your weight on something. And yet, here is this person choosing to look away from all that is vibrant and green on the horizon. And this pie in the sky dream of a castle, a home without conflict, a home with financial stability, a home without crazy making people making your life a nightmare. But that can't be real for me. That's not how things really are. And what most of us don't realize, and most of your brothers and sisters out there who just look at everyday events and think that we have no control over them, that we are victims, that we're just swept along, and look at all these terrible people in the world doing terrible things, and don't see the validity of all the colors. That is another secret little message of the Antares star, the dark horse in this equation of this full moon. Antares has this. Remember how I said Uriel is that angel of redemption, that angel of being able to see the treasure within the darkness? There's this theme that star has, and that angel has, of seeing the toughness in the world and realizing that it's still all good. And this is so exciting for me to talk about, because I really wanted to, again, there was so much loaded in this full moon that I really wanted to talk about. And this kind of really deep little aspect of the Antares idea is this idea of the beauty within the sublime, the beauty within the ugliness of the world. And this is an advanced topic, so I understand if some of you are going, what is she talking about? Because this does not look good. Like some of this looks really scary, actually. And the stuff that's going on in the news, the stuff that's going on in the world, the stuff that's going on in my life, the stress of the end of the year, the stress of what am I going to do or be next? This is real. And when some of us are sitting there and we're not content with where we are, we haven't reached our potential, we see all this stuff happening out there that we seemingly can't control, and it's giving us all this mental conflict and stress and anxiety about stuff. It is really tempting to just feel like a victim. It's really tempting to fall on this two of Earth side of being overwhelmed and really believing that there's nothing that you can do about this, that you just have to kind of suffer through it. And yes, you can look at it that way. You can also see that what you're going through is this part of a hero's journey, where the hero goes through this, again, I'm referencing the Joseph Campbell hero journey. The hero, sometimes after going out on their hero journey, after overcoming the threshold guardian, they meet the threshold guardian, and sometimes they overcome it, and sometimes the threshold guardian engulfs them, sort of like Jonah and the whale. They get swallowed by this big beast, and they end up underwater. They end up in the dark place where they have to face their shadow side, right? Where they have to go into this place and really sit with themselves and go through this crucible of hard stuff. And this is that Chiron stuff that we've been dealing with. And also this may be the fruit of that Mars-Pluto square that we were dealing with at New Moon in Scorpio. New Moon in Scorpio was incredibly like creature in the water, like guardian from the depths energy that was coming to test us and see whether or not we're going to be fatalistic or just be angry or to give in to despair of what we see every day in front of our face. And yet, again, the rainbow, the beauty. Why is this environment so beautiful? And why will he not look at it? This is the question. When secretly this 4 is letting us know we have all the support we could have. We just can't see it right now. It's not immediately obvious in a very 3D way because we're still in process. We're still in the 5 of process. We're still in this very human place where we're learning, we're growing. We are going through what we need to go through, and we can see this process as a torture, which, sometimes it feels like it is, or we can see it as our process and that it's beautiful. Sometimes I've said so in the past that in order for a plant to grow, you need to repot it. And when you pull that plant out of its old pot that was too small, sometimes it hurts. Like the roots are ripped out, or you have to prune the plant, and that can't be fun either. And so this stuff that we're going through is real and not fun. And we're in process, and the guides are just letting us know. Have patience. See if you can't find something beautiful about where you are. Even if you have to kind of step outside yourself and go to that meditation space, step outside yourself, look at yourself as if you were the main character of a movie. Imagine that this is the dark night of the soul that you're in right now. Before you turn around and you see all the things that you've always wanted. That corner that you can't see around the next corner of the maze. Look at yourself this way. Look at yourself the way that Source or God Goddess whatever you want to call it, the divine. Look at yourself the way the divine sees you. As a beloved protagonist in your own beautiful heroic journey story, who is about to discover help, who is about to grow into someone mature and strong and focused, but whom, in order to do that, needs to go through some conflict, needs to go through some growth process, needs to be repotted, and it's not going to be so fun because challenging information or challenging experiences, conflicts, uncertainty. What would the story be like without those things? What if every day everything just worked out? Everything worked out, everything worked out, everything worked out, and everything worked out, and everything worked out. Wouldn't you get discontented and bored with that kind of story? If there is some way that you can take this little esoteric nod of Antares being the secret treasure in the darkness, the beauty within the sublime experience of going through cathartic pain, of transforming your Chiron, of going through all of this craziness. If you can see yourself at home for the holidays, surrounded by your family's crazy, and take yourself out and watch yourself from the outside and go, wow, this is the best holiday comedy movie, even if it's a dark comedy, or this is the best holiday drama that I have ever seen, and realize that that's the way that Source is looking at you. Beautiful being that is in the middle of your process, just like all these fives are telling us, and see the rainbow of the colors of experience that we need. We need all the crayons in the crayon box. We do. It would not be infinity without all of the experience. And that includes the bad stuff. That includes the stuff we don't want. That includes the stuff we judge, that we'd rather not see. And it includes discontent and boredom. It includes mental conflict. All of this makes us stronger and more developed beings. And we need to have patience with our own process and not judge it so much. And maybe that's the tough love that we need to learn in order to become a hero and start to make things work for us, even the light and the dark. Find the treasure within the not so fun right now. And that's really profound. This deck is really deep and profound, and it's really lovely to know that even within the dark stuff, even if you fall on this side of the fence, for now, even if you choose to be overwhelmed and feel like a victim, you can do this for as long as you want. You're an eternal divine being, and you're going to have as many lifetimes as it takes to decide that this isn't fun anymore, and maybe decide to hero up. And that's the freedom of being a sovereign, conscious creator, being part of the amazing game that we're in the middle of. Kind of makes you marvel at the beauty of it all. And maybe want to have some patience with your own process and see what beautiful treasure comes up out of the depths that you're going through right now. I have so much faith in all of us that we're going to figure it out. It might be tough, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to hero up. Beautiful, beautiful shortcut. Any of you fellow tarot readers out there who would like to use my quick cross spread or my shortcut process, please feel free to do so. All you need to do is to attribute these spreads to me. You just basically need to put my name on your project and say, I came up with these spreads, and link to my website, which is www.shinyallthetime.com. And you can get all the required attribution information from my website at shinyallthetime.com/CC. CC stands for Creative Commons because I've made these spreads available through Creative Commons license for you to use. So you just cut and paste that information into your video description or your project, and you can use these spreads as long as they are properly attributed. Awesome. Okay, what are we going to do next? There's so much going on. It's all really, really profound, and I want to get some support for us. Let's use, you know what? I'm going to consider a more playful approach. Those of you who saw my Black Cat Halloween video know that I introduced a new deck back then. And because all of this is just so heavy, I just want to go playful. I'm going to use the cats inspirational oracle for my next shortcut. I know that sounds so random, but I'm going to take the advice of the guides. This is all so heavy, and I'm so glad for the Psychic Tarot shortcut. Very profound, but I want us to have some lighthearted, silly, wonderful advice from our feline friends who no one knows better than a cat how to balance doing and being, how to balance the seeming opposites, and such a good flowing. Have you seen cats just flow? Have you seen them flow like water? Have you seen those funny videos online where they all get into any container and people want to prove the cats are liquid? These creatures know how to flow. And I don't know. As a playful approach, I want to try this deck. Let's see. What are they telling us to do in this crazy energetic environment? Here we go. All right, everyone. The Bombays want you to cuddle this holiday season. What better way to take a break from this energy and to consider a more playful approach and to give your body and your mind a break? Cuddle. Find one other human, maybe, who understands you. Get in this relationship place. This is a promise of if you choose this heart-based place, you'll have relationships that continue to grow closer. You'll have more forgiveness in your life. You can have that positive resolution of conflicts and maybe some cuddles. Maybe you'll get hugs. Or if need be, take some private time and watch a good film. Watch a film that makes you feel good. That way you can maybe shut your mind down from this energy. 16 reduces to another 7. And how fun and playful is this secret 7, letting us know we have stupid luck on our side. Have you ever met a cat that ever wanted to justify its existence? That ever thought it needed to? That ever thought it needed to argue for its own validity or say, hey, this is why I deserve to be here? Cats don't do that. They just lay there and look at you like these two. They just go, I'm here, and I'm divine, and pet me, but then stop. And feed me, but not that. They're so entitled. And we could take a page from their book and be easy on ourselves this season. Just like that patience card was telling us with the Psychic Tarot, be patient with yourself, be soft, be gentle, be compassionate, reach for love and quiet in place of drama that doesn't need to be there. Great. What a great piece of advice. Thanks, kitties. Cuddle. You are beautiful. The Persian says, love yourself. Look at this 10. This 10 we've been waiting for. That's the end of the cycle. This is the answer to everything. Everything is beautiful. That's how the Eternal looks at things. The Eternal would not have put conflict and trial and hardship here on earth unless there was something beautiful about it. Some treasure that we have yet to find. Fall in love. New things around the corner, possibly wedding proposals, possibly new opportunities, possibly that amazing Sun trine Uranus day that we're ending on, the upbeat ending of this 2-week cycle. The need to balance emotions, balancing theme. But the shortcut to it all is to see the beauty in yourself and in others and in your own process. And to love yourself. That is the number one key to everything. Cats also know that. They love themselves without question. They don't go around with complexes going, am I good enough? No, they say, serve me. I am good. I am cat. Love me, pet me, cuddle me. because I'm beautiful. And I remind you that you are beautiful too. Animals have this unblocked link to divine love. They don't forget who they are when they get here the way that we do. They serve as constant reminders of how to love yourself without shame, how to accept yourself, and how to go through your process, no matter what's happening to you right now. They get pissy if things aren't going their way, but very quickly they adapt, quite adaptable. And we are too. We're going to get this. We're going to achieve this mastery. Don't worry. You're beautiful. Okay. And this 10 has reduced to a 1. I love this card. This is the card that showed up for my little shortcut for the Black Cat video when I did the shout out. I'm going to do a shout out now for Black Cat Holistic Rescue. Those of you who are looking to do a good deed and do that charity work that I was talking about, yeah. If you want to donate to a really good cause, blackcatholisticrescue.org. This amazing rescue rescues black cats, the ones that are least likely to be adopted, and gives them loving homes. And I got this achievement card in my first ever shortcut with this deck. Number 1, and the achievement, you can see how happy this cat looks with itself. And here is that perfect illustration of achieving balance between seeming opposites. Here we go. You notice this cat is playful and has playfully caught this mouse. And yet, the mouse is not dead. The mouse is very much alive. And you can see that if the cat just gently lifted up its paws, the mouse would just run away. And it's bright-eyed, it is alert, it has not been abused in any way. It's a very healthy and, frankly, very well-fed looking mouse. Both of these creatures look very well-fed and very happy with themselves. And it's bright and alert, and its ears are up. And you just get this feeling that these two are friends. That they look like they should be enemies. They look like they should be fighting, or this cat looks like it should be ferocious and attacking. But they know the beauty of the game, the beauty of appearing to be opposites and appearing to be in conflict. And yet, if the cat just lifts up its little paw playfully, this mouse will run away, and then the cat will get to chase the mouse again. And here's another deep metaphysical topic. We do this with our lives, with our many, many, many concurrent lives as eternal beings. We come back. Why would we keep coming back over and over, just like the animals do? The animals keep coming back. They are aware. They don't forget where they come from like we do. They know that they're coming back. They know they've been here before and they will be here again, and they keep coming back to play this beautiful game on planet Earth. So there must be something good about it, even if it looks scary, even if it seems bad, even if there are things that we would deem untenable, like the fact that, things do die, things do end. There is violence in the world. And I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm not trying to say these things that we're struggling with are not real and don't deserve the focus of trying to solve them and trying to minimize these happenings, these unfortunate things in the world as much as possible. But this achievement card, this beautiful bright-eyed Norwegian forest cat, is just letting us know that the maximum achievement is to realize, number one, that you're number one. You are worthy, you are a divine being, you have complete sovereignty. You chose to be here to play this amazing game of opposites within space-time, within a world that was based on the game rules, having duality, having opposites, having things that we need to balance, having conflict, having things that seem not to be reconcilable, having these choices that seem to be not a choice, that seem to be not makeable, not unmakeable choices. But there is this one showing up at the very end here is the secret nod that we can reconcile these opposites, that these eternal souls, secretly behind the scenes, in their eternal state, when back in heaven, they're looking at each other going, okay, next time I'll be the cat. Next time you chase me. Next time I'll be the mouse. And we'll appear to be enemies on the world stage. But meanwhile, when we go back to spirit, we collapse into the one, the beautiful, loving source from which everything and all of us came. And here it is, the maximum achievement, loving oneself, realizing you're beautiful, you're a perfect 10, and having a beautiful reflection in a relationship with another. And that's really a large part of why we come into this world of duality, is so we can relate to another. Back in spirit, where all is one, where we all collapse into the source, there's just us. There's just us, the one. But in order to have this beautiful experience of relating, of having something other than just you, we need to be in a reflective universe, in a dualistic experience. And this is what we're trying to come to terms with this craziness of things seem even more polarly opposite out there lately. And things seem very difficult to parse because it's very extreme. And this full moon, that's the theme of this full moon, is, hey, there's these extreme opposites and we somehow need to find a way for them to work together and come together and be one, so that maybe seeming enemies can learn to play together here on planet Earth and make something beautiful. Wow, these cats are so amazing and fun and wise. If you've ever shared your life with a feline familiar, hopefully you've seen this in action, how actually wise they are, and what a calm connection they have to spirit, how they have not forgotten who they are, how they exist as a reminder of us, to us, of our divinity, and that we are number one. Beautiful. I always imagine these two are friends. I really do. And I hope we all can be too. Awesome. Okay. Any of you who would like to purchase any of these card decks that I've been using in my readings, I do have a resources page at shinyallthetime.com. It's shinyallthetime.com/resources. Or you can follow the resources link at any shinyallthetime.com page. If you do purchase a card deck through my resources page, I do get a small percentage back to help me support my website and support the making of future videos for you. You will not pay any more. The price remains the same regardless of whether you purchase it somewhere else or whether you purchase it on my page. But I do get a small percentage, and it allows me to keep doing this for you all. And if you do purchase a card deck through my site, I thank you in advance. But yeah, those of you who do want to do a good deed for Black Cat Holistic Rescue, please do visit their site, donate, foster, adopt a wonderful black kitty, or go to their Zazzle store at www.zazzle.com/blackcatrescuela and purchase an amazing little item that says, Black goes with everything. It's my graphic that I made for them as an illustration that they could license and sell for fundraising purposes. And every time I see this deck, it just reminds me of that beautiful Halloween video. Those of you who haven't seen it, definitely go back and watch it. It's still good. Even though it was for Halloween, it's still good. Check it out. Yes, let me do our Angel Answers card, because this is getting long and I want it to, wow, it's just been a lot. And I'm going to bring us, some good advice. All right, everyone, just let go. Let go of the need to juggle everything. Let go of the need to control everything with your ego mind. Practice forgiveness. Practice playfulness. Allow your life to work out. Allow the universe to surprise you. Allow a beautiful something to come out of this seemingly very dark situation that many of us find ourselves in. Let go. You know that phrase that people always say, it's kind of a cliche, but people say, let go and let God? There's something to that, where you can go inside and realize that everything is trying its best to work itself out for you. It's just a lot of us think that we have to do this all ourselves. A lot of us think we have to juggle all the plates in the air and won't accept help from others, or accept help from guides, or won't reach out to spirit, or won't realize that we have a storehouse of internal strength that we have yet to tap into. This beautiful vertical is just letting us know we have it. We have it. Something beautiful is coming. This treasure will reveal itself to you if you just let it. Let things work out for you, no matter what they look like right now. Just wait and see. Be patient, just like the Psychic Tarot said. Just let go. And breathe. And take care of yourselves. Remember, you're number one. The universe is waiting to serve you. It's waiting to give you what you want if you just stop insisting that you have to do it yourself. And just listen. Listen for the small voice. You'll get inspiration. You'll know when it's time to take action. You'll know when it's time to get your Saturn on and do the hard work. But until then, if there's stuff in your life that's going on that you can't control, just be at peace. Find some modicum of solace in those quiet moments. Take that time to meditate. Give it to yourself. Let go. You deserve it. All right. Speaking of deserving, I am going to end this reading, so profound, with our bubbly fun. Speaking of considering a more playful approach, thanks, kitties. I'm going to take one of our victory reward dice and see what the guides want us to do to celebrate. Right. Choose a dice. Closing my eyes and roll. Okay, everyone. Go shopping. You already are. You're already doing the holiday shopping and you're shopping for everybody else. But if you can, if you can get just a little brain space to do something nice for yourself, and if that something nice for yourself is donating to maybe charity, that's great too. You can go shopping for the planet. You can go shopping for a good cause. You can, maybe you can go to the Black Cat Holistic Rescue Zazzle store and go shopping for a good cause. Yeah, do something. It doesn't have to be huge. I don't want you to put yourself in debt. The guides don't want you to do that either. Nobody wants you to be in hardship. And speaking of Saturn telling you to focus and making sure things are sustainable, go shopping for something small, affordable, that makes you feel like you're number one. That makes you feel happy, like a little kid inside. That fun thing that maybe you don't indulge in that often. If it's a little food item or a little tchotchke or a little accessory or something fun and light and happy, because we need that. Hey, and maybe that means buy more shoes. Like sometimes on the dice, it's the front face is right side up too. So I always consider that a little bonus. Go shopping, buy more shoes. Yeah, because as I like to say, your feet are the place where you touch the planet, your divine self and your divine body at the root level. You touch the planet with your feet. So if your feet are not happy, buy yourself a beautiful, comfortable, maybe weatherproof pair of shoes that make you happy, that make you feel brilliant, that won't break the bank. Because if your feet aren't happy, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to have that forward momentum. All of you needs to be happy. The body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. All together, all balanced, all pulling together as one. And that is the message of this spread. I know it's been challenging, but I have faith in us. We are heroes, and we got this. Let it work out. Gorgeous. All right. It's coming down to the holiday season, so I am not doing any more private readings until after the first of the year. I'm going to take that, speaking of doing something for yourself and having my own time to go within. So I am done with private readings for now, but I will be back my next reading is going to be on the 17th, and then after that, the 31st. But after that New Year's Day, I am going to be back doing private readings. So those of you who would like a reading can visit my services page at shinyallthetime.com/services. And I will be happy to serve you with anything you order from that page after the first of the year. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of my readings up until the end of the year. And wow. We are epic. This is mythological. This is huge on a scale. And I'm so glad we got to the more esoteric stuff. Those of you who didn't understand it quite with your conscious mind, please, I hope you can feel the energetic message off of things, and you can feel the love and the support from the guides, not only the guides and the people possibly and aspects of you entering your life, but also the Knight of Air that we got at the beginning. So much support. Go us, go planet Earth. I am so excited for all of us, for our heroic journey. I hope we can all find the beauty in the process, no matter what it looks like on the surface. I have faith that we can. Thank you again. If you enjoyed this really profound reading, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, share this amazing message of confidence that we're getting from the guides. They are confident in us, and they want us to succeed. They're going to give us all the tools, even if it's tough love, so that we have every advantage that we can moving forward, no matter, again, what things look like on the world stage. I hope you all take comfort in that, and I will see you next time. Stay shiny, everyone.